You're not a gangster. You never wanted to be one. You grew up watching people like that on TV, thinking, that's not me. That'll never be me. But here's what nobody tells you. It doesn't start with a choice. It starts with a situation. A moment where you're backed into a corner, and your options are this or nothing. And most people, most normal, regular people, choose this. Most channels will show you the cars, the cash, the clout. We're going to show you something different. We're going to show you how it actually happens, step by step, level by level. From the first harmless favor to the moment you realize you're in a war you never signed up for. And by the time you see where this goes, you're going to understand exactly how someone becomes the person they swore they'd never be. This is POV. You're forced into a gang war. Let's get into it. Level 1. The favor. You're 20 years old, Southside Chicago. You got laid off from the warehouse job 3 weeks ago. Rent is $850. You got $340 in your account. Your older cousin Dre knocks on your apartment door one night. Dre's always around, always got money, always got a phone in each hand. You never asked where the money came from. You had a feeling, you just never said it out loud. I need you to hold something for me, just until tomorrow morning. You say no. He puts $200 on your kitchen counter, then another $200. That's your electric bill, right there, in 30 seconds. He hands you a shoebox, taped shut, heavy. You don't open it. He says, if anyone asks, you don't know me tonight. You put it under your bed. You don't sleep. At 6 a.m., he picks it up, hands you the other $200. $400 for doing nothing. You tell yourself it was a one-time thing. 3 days later, he asks again. You say yes before he even finishes the sentence. Level 2. The introduction. Dre takes you somewhere new. A garage in the back of a strip mall on 79th Street. You've driven past it 100 times, never thought twice about it. Inside, there are 4 men. Low light, folding chairs, a card table, TV on mute in the corner. One man does all the talking. His name is Dion, mid-30s, calm like still water. Not loud, not threatening, just present in a way that fills the room. He looks at you like a contractor looks at a building, like he's calculating what you can hold. Dre says you're solid, quiet, no record. You nod, don't say much. That turns out to be exactly the right move. He offers you a job. Drop runs. Local. 3 neighborhoods, rotating schedule. Early mornings, nothing flashy. Stay invisible. $600 a week. Cash. Every Friday. You think about rent, your mom's phone bill, the notice on your car. You say yes. That night, you lie in bed and you know what you're carrying. You just don't say it to yourself, because saying it makes it real. And right now, you need the money more than you need the truth. Level 3. Routine. 6 weeks in, you have a system. 5:30 a.m., up before the neighborhood wakes. Pick up from a dead drop behind a laundromat on Halsted. Ride your car like you're heading to work, because that's what this is now, work. 4 stops, sometimes 5, different addresses, different faces. You hand it off, you keep moving. Nobody looks at you twice. That's the whole design. By 8:30 a.m., you're home, $600 in your account by noon. You eat breakfast, you watch SportsCenter, you act like a normal person, because in this neighborhood, at this hour, you look like one. The money feels different than a paycheck. A paycheck feels earned. This feels like breathing, like the city is just providing. But something starts happening, quietly. You start memorizing things without trying to. Which blocks belong to Dion's crew? Which corners are neutral? Which ones aren't? There's a stretch on the east side, 2 blocks near Stony Island Ave. Dre told you day one, don't go over there, ever. Why? That spooky side. You didn't ask who Spooky was. The way Dre's voice changed when he said the name, you didn't need to. Level 4, first test. It's a Thursday, 7 a.m. You get a call from a number you don't recognize. One of Dion's guys, Marcus, deep voice, short. Change of route today, new address. He gives you a street you've never been told to go to, 2 blocks from the edge of Spooky's territory. Your stomach drops, but you go. When you pull up, a man is standing on the sidewalk. Young, hoodie up, arms crossed, eyes locked on you before you even park. He doesn't take the package. He just walks up to your window and says, "Tell Dion we haven't forgotten." Then he walks away. You sit there for a full minute, heart in your throat, package still in your bag. You call Marcus, no answer. Call Dre, no answer. You drive home. You sit in your parked car for 20 minutes before going inside. That evening, Dion calls you directly, first time ever. Tell me exactly what he looked like, exactly what he said, word for word. You tell him everything, every detail, every word. A long silence. Good. Stay close. The call ends. You stare at your phone. You realize your hands stopped shaking about 5 minutes ago. And that scares you more than the shaking did.
Level 5. The war starts. 4 days after that interaction, everything shifts. One of Dion's runners, a kid named Trey, 18 years old, gets jumped outside a CVS on 83rd. Broad daylight, 3 guys, caught him walking to his car. 2 broken fingers, concussion, his phone taken. Trey knew routes. Trey knew faces. That phone knew everything Trey knew. That night, Dion's crew moves. You don't know the specifics. You don't want to. But Marcus shows up the next morning with his jaw tight and his knuckles wrapped. Nobody discusses it. Nobody has to. The South Side changes frequency. Certain corners get watched. Certain routes go dark. Cars you've never seen start sitting on blocks for hours at a time. Both sides, watching, counting, waiting. Your routes change completely. New drop points, new timing, new rules. Dion calls in every favor he has. Shop owners, parking lot attendants, a security guard who works the night shift at a school on Cottage Grove. Information moving through this city like electricity, and you are one of the wires. Your pay jumps. 600 becomes 1,000, then 1,500. You buy new shoes, real ones. Pay your mom's cell phone bill 2 months ahead. Tell her you got a promotion at a new job. You're lying to your mother, and it's getting easier every time. That's not a good sign. Level 6, trusted. Dion pulls you into the garage one night, just you. He sets a burner phone on the table, brand new, still in the plastic. The runners are sloppy. They talk too much, move too slow, think too little. You don't. That's rare. I need someone who coordinates, watches the board, reroutes when something feels wrong. That's you now. You stare at the burner phone. You're not carrying packages anymore. You're moving people. 2,200 a week. You look at that number like it belongs to someone else's life. But the weight comes with it. If a runner gets caught, you routed him wrong. If a deal falls apart, your intel was bad. If something goes wrong, it went wrong because of you. You start checking the burner at 2 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. You lose 10 pounds without trying. You stop going to your friend's place on weekends, too much to track. One afternoon, you're standing in line at a Walgreens, normal Tuesday, buying Gatorade, and you catch yourself cataloging every person in the store. Who's standing too still?
Who keeps glancing at the door? Who doesn't fit the block? This is paranoia arriving. Not the dramatic kind, the quiet kind. The kind that feels like paying attention. The kind that stays forever.
Level 7. Blood on concrete. It's a Friday night. You're home. Normal. Then the burner goes off. One word from Marcus. Now. You're there in 9 minutes. An alley offers scene. Behind a Mexican restaurant. 3 of your crew, 2 guys from Spooky's side, and 1 of yours face down on the asphalt. Not moving. You've seen violence. TV, movies, online. You thought you knew what it looked like. You didn't. This is different. This is 10 feet away. This is a person you know. A person who texted you a meme 2 days ago. He lives, but it takes the ambulance 19 minutes to arrive. You count them, every single one. You stand in that alley and you think, I need to leave. I need to go home, pack a bag, drive somewhere, anywhere. Then Dion shows up, puts a hand on your shoulder. Quiet. You didn't run. 3 words, that's it. And somehow those 3 words stop you from leaving. That's the trap. Right there, in a dirty alley on the south side. You just can't see the bars. Not yet. Level 8. Power. 8 months in, you are not the same person. $31,000 in cash, hidden in 3 spots across the apartment. A newer car, a better apartment. Clothes that fit right for the first time in your life. From the outside, it looks like you finally figured it out. People in the neighborhood notice. Not your old school friends. You stopped seeing them around month 3. But other people, older men, younger guys trying to make sense of their own dead-end situations. They look at you different now. You know that look is dangerous. You know it, and you like it anyway. That combination is lethal. Dion starts bringing you into planning sessions. You sit, you listen, you don't speak unless asked. You learn things that can't be unlearned. Which city alderman takes calls from Dion? Which CPD officer doesn't show up to certain blocks after 10 p.m.? Which attorney gets retained before the question is even asked? You're learning how the city actually works. Not the version they teach in school, the real version. Under the surface, running on invisible agreements. But Spooky hasn't gone away. He's been quiet for 2 months. Dion says that's the most dangerous thing Spooky can be. Quiet. Something is coming. Everyone in that garage feels it. This time, it won't be knuckles and concussions. This time, the city is going to bleed. Level 9. The line. Dion pulls you alone. No crew. 11 p.m. His actual house. First time he's ever brought you there. He tells you Spooky is planning a hit on Dion's distribution warehouse on the West End. Source is solid. Someone inside Spooky's circle who's been feeding information for weeks. It's real. The night is set. The crew is already moving. Dion wants to move first. He slides a burner across the coffee table. A number already pulled up. One of Spooky's lieutenants. Goes by K-Mac. Call him. Tell him you're a buyer from Milwaukee. You need a location for a pickup tomorrow night. When he gives it to you, you give it to me. You look at the phone. You've held packages, ran routes, coordinated drops, lied to your family. But this is different. You know exactly what this phone call is for. You confirm a location, Dion sends people there, someone gets seriously hurt, maybe worse. Every link in that chain runs through you. You feel sick, genuinely sick, stomach-turning, sweaty-palmed sick. Dion watches you, says nothing, doesn't push, doesn't threaten. He just waits. Because he's done this before.
He knows what happens next. You pick up the phone. You tell yourself it's just information, just a conversation, just words. You're lying to yourself. And somewhere deep down, you know that this is the last time you'll be able to. After this, there's no version of yourself that didn't do this. You have to live with it. Forever. Level 10. The night of. Dion tells you to stay home that night. I don't need you out there. It sounds like a kindness. It's not. It's protection. For him, not you. You sit on your couch. TV on. Can't watch it. You stare at the burner phone on the cushion next to you. At 12:43 a.m., 2 messages come in fast. No words, just a code you've learned to read. It's done. By morning, there's a news alert on your phone. 1 man shot, 1 in critical condition near a warehouse district on Chicago's west side. No suspects. Investigation ongoing. You read it 3 times. You made a phone call. That's all you did. You answered a few questions. You relayed an address. But that phone call confirmed a location. That location made an ambush possible. That ambush put 1 man in the ICU and another in surgery. Every single step traces back to you. You sit with that for a long time. You don't throw up. You don't cry. You sit very still. And you realize that stillness, that ability to contain it, is exactly what they wanted. It's what they've been building in you since month 1. You weren't recruited. You were engineered.
Level 11. The heat. 12 days after the warehouse incident, a detective visits your block. Plain clothes, blue Chevy Impala, going door to door with a notepad. You don't know this at first. You find out from your downstairs neighbor, an older woman named Miss Cheryl, who waters her plants on the stoop every morning. She mentions it casually while you're getting your mail. Some detective was asking about a young man, dark blue Accord, parks on this street most mornings. Your car is a dark blue Accord. You smile at Miss Cheryl. You say, "Huh, that's weird." You go inside. You lock the door, pull the blinds, sit on the floor with your back against the wall. You stay there for 20 minutes. You call Dre. He says wait. Don't call Dion directly. You call Marcus, straight to voicemail. You text the burner number. No response for 4 hours. You are completely alone with this. $31,000 in cash in 3 hiding spots, a burner phone with a text thread you can't fully delete, a dark blue Accord parked out front, and a detective who's been asking your neighbors about you. This is what the trap feels like when it closes. Not a door slamming, just the quiet realization that you built the walls yourself, one decision at a time, starting with a shoebox under your bed. Level 12. 3 doors. Dion reaches out through Drave at night. New location, a hotel off the I-90, room 214. Dion is calm. He's always calm. He spreads 3 options on the table like a business plan. Option 1, go dark. No activity, no contact except through Dre. 6 to 8 weeks, let the detective move to another case. These things go cold all the time. Option 2, leave Chicago entirely. Dion has people in Atlanta, Houston. You go there, clean money, new life, new name if it comes to that. Option 3, keep working. The detective is, and Dion uses this word precisely, manageable. You sit across from him and look at all 3 options. None of them are what you want. What you want is to be 20 years old again, standing in your apartment when Dre knocked. What you want is to say no and mean it. That option doesn't exist anymore. You think about your mom, the money you sent her every month, the lie you told her every time. You think about what her face would look like if she knew. You think about the man in the ICU.
You think about Trey with the broken fingers, about your guy face down in the alley, about Miss Cheryl watering her plants while a detective stood on her stoop asking about you. There is no version of you left that's clean. You understand that now, completely, for the first time. You look at Dion. You make your choice.
Here's what nobody tells you about gang wars. They don't end. Not really. Not ever. The names change, the faces cycle out, the territory shifts, but the infrastructure underneath stays exactly the same. Because the conditions that created it are still there. The poverty, the lack of options, the desperation dressed up as opportunity. The Dions and Spookies of the world aren't an anomaly. They're a response to a city that decided certain zip codes didn't need the same resources as others. Spooky gets taken down 9 months later, not by Dion, by a federal task force using a wiretap that's been running for 2 years. 2 of his top lieutenants flip, take plea deals. Spooky gets 30 years. Someone fills his spot within 3 weeks. Someone always fills the spot. Dre disappears in year 2. You hear different stories. You stop asking. Dion gets arrested in year 3 on federal conspiracy charges. His attorney, the one you sat in on meetings about, gets him a deal. 18 months, out in 14. And you're still here. More money, more weight, more of the operation running through your hands, and less of yourself left. You still think about leaving. You think about it most nights, actually. When it's quiet, when you hear a song you used to like before all this, when you drive past your old high school and see kids who look the way you used to look. Then the burner buzzes, and you answer it, because this is what you do now. And the worst part, the part that keeps you up at 4 a.m., is knowing that somewhere in this city right now, there's another 20-year-old, broke, stressed, rent due, phone about to get cut off, and someone is about to knock on their door, and they're going to say yes, because the options don't change, only the names do. That's how the cycle works, level by level, until there's no going back.